All right, everybody. We are back. Let us make sure everything is going well. Let me turn this down for myself. It's not going to affect any of you. Let me make sure that sound is going and that sound is going. All right, and then finally, let me see if I can mess with things. Anyways, welcome. We're going to be doing Rollercoaster Tycoon for today. Rollercoaster Tycoon has been one of the most requested games from a certain Midwest otter for so long, and it's a game of my childhood. Like, I've been playing Rollercoaster Tycoon since video games were a thing for me. It is one of my earliest childhood remembrances, and I'm just excited to get into it and do it for you guys. So we're going to be playing the Dynamite Dunes situation, the Dynamite Dunes scenario, which basically means we're building a park in the desert. There's already a roller coaster, but we need to make it an actual park. So our goal is 650 guests by the end of year 3, basically, and a park rating of at least 600. None of those are hard. There's a reason why this is one of the beginner ones, but to me, this is what Rollercoaster Tycoon is. So I wanted to just do it. So first things first, though. Let me see if I can. I can. Okay, perfect. That's what I was most worried about. Except now I cannot mess with my stream. Let me mess with my stream real quick, and then because I don't want my face to take up so much space. So we're gonna put it right here, and then this should, in theory, all work out. All right, this should work out. We should be looking better, except now my OBS is messing with. All right, give me one more minute. Because my OBS started messing with where my chat is, and I need to be able to see my chat if I'm going to be doing this. All right, one more time, full screen. Perfect. All is well. Music on. Normal sound quality, stereo, primary sound driver. All is well. All right. So we are in. Everything is good to go. So I just need to. Interesting. It still looks weird on my deal. For me, it's full screen, but let's see if changing it does anything. No, none of that did anything. So I think this is our best bet, actually, is just to unfortunately be windowed for all of it. Sad, but it's fine. I'm just gonna do it this way so that Steam is the background. That is that, and then let me mess with my OBS so that this feels better, I guess. All right, this is how it's just gonna be. Yeah, weird. None of that is something I could have messed with beforehand. All right. Anyways, we are back. So as you can see, we do have a single roller coaster here. It's this wonderful minecart roller coaster called Dynamite Dunes, which is the park's name. And yeah, we've got all sorts of room here. The view is messing with me a little bit, but that's just how it is. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we need to do a few things. First things first. Normal funding is fine. I don't want ride improvements. I just want roller coasters, thrill rides, and gentle rides. I'll do shops and stalls as well. I don't need scenery. I don't need ride improvements. That's all I need. I'm actually going to uncheck all of these and just get a thrill ride first. And when that pops up, you'll realize why. The first thrill ride we should be able to get should be our best thrill ride, honestly. But as we go, we want to just kind of focus on getting people interested in the park. But the other thing we want to do, there are two ways to run a park in Rollercoaster Tycoon. You can either run it as free entry, and then they pay for rides. So right now it's free entry, and they pay $3 to get on this roller coaster. That's fine. That's a fine way to do it. But I much prefer they pay me like $20 at the gate. And then everything inside other than concessions is free. It's just more guaranteed income. They only keep about $60 in their pocket. So as I get my park going, as I make my park better, they're going to tell me, oh, your park's a great value. Then you raise the price on them because they had the courage to stand up for themselves. So first things first, I want to build something that actually serves our park and gives us some wonderful music. Make a queue line for that. People are going to want to queue up for that. And then the question becomes, do I want this dirt path? That answer is pretty much no. So the brown doesn't feel bad to me. The brown's not the part that I'm like, oh, I hate the brown. I just don't like the rough edges. I'm going to still going with brown because I think the brown looks fine. I am going to streamline things as I go. The problem is the pathing in this game is terrible. Like, I just accidentally took someone off the path and immediately they are lost. So we don't want that. And I'm actually going to pause the game. I need to hire some people as well. The good thing about this game is you can do pretty much anything in the pause menu, which is really nice. You cannot do that, though, in the pause menu. But yeah, the pathing on this game is horrible, so you just have to be really careful about your guests. If they get off path, they just get lost, they starve to death, and that's just how the game goes. And there is incentive to making the pathing make sense. The more your people are able to get around the park, the better off you are. There are times where people will complain about not knowing how to get around your park. So that is something that they will complain about. And luckily, this is a small enough park. They usually won't get lost in your pathing right away, obviously. Because it's just a line. But as this park gets bigger, I'm going to have more paths, and it's just going to get it's going to get to be a lot. So that's just how it goes. So now we know we're doing a throw ride. It's going to be done the 2nd of April. Right now it's early March. No, it's late March. Go-karts? That's not what it was supposed to be. Anyways, I'm going to keep re-rolling the throw rides until we get a swinging ship. In general, people don't really like the scrambled eggs. I don't get it, but they don't. And I know it's called Rollercoaster Tycoon. Roller coasters are freaking expensive. So we want to make sure that our guests have things that can be a good experience for them right out the gate. And we just lost our roller coaster. It broke down. Luckily, we hired somebody for just that event. So now we're just going to go through and make sure they can eat and drink in this park, because this park apparently did not care about making sure that everybody was fed and, you know, had the ability to eat. We are also going to delete some of these trees. About half of them. So that way I have the ability to put more things in. But we're going to keep the tree motif as we go. So we'll put like 2 to 3 spaces in between as it makes sense. This still keeps the tree motif in here, but it doesn't make it so overbearing to, you know, keep going. And I need to turn myself around there. So just kind of putting it in where it makes sense. Getting dogmatic about it really makes it hard to manage, but this way it looks like I've got it planted all over the place. So there is an incentive for beauty in your park as well. Guests will talk about, oh, this park is beautiful, and overall adding to your how much money your park actually makes and your park's net value is actually really important. So now we can put go-karts in. I'm not going to do it just yet because I want to get benches right in there. I want to get trash cans in there. And eventually I would like lights, but mostly I want to make sure that there are places for people to rest. And doing that an average amount. More importantly, though, I need a place for people to put their freaking trash. They will just throw it wherever. And that bugs the crap out of me, obviously. But they will just put it wherever they want. And that's not a cool thing. So yeah, we're just making these pads look like somebody actually designed them rather than the pads that we were given, right? And then again, all of these things will kind of help us be a better park. All of these things will contribute to guest happiness. And always put a bathroom outside a really nice roller coaster. This one's not too bad, but especially the high intensity stuff, it will cut down on vomit on your pads like crazy. So this is our park right now. We're going to go ahead. We've got go-karts. We might as well build a go-kart track for us because people love go-karts. So this will be our first custom build. And the merry-go-round just broke down. I just heard it. So you can go really hard with the go-karts. What I like to do with go-karts, though, is just kind of fill in behind things. Because the actual track is so good at just, like, filling things in. Adding a little bit of a rise makes it look fun. But ultimately, just making it so that it fills in well is my goal usually. And now you can hear the wonders of the speech patterns for all of our guests. They are talkative and they say absolutely nothing. Yeah, this will be our go-kart track. Pretty sick go-kart track, if I say so myself. Toss the entrance and exit in there. That's good to go. And then I'm going to probably go ahead and make a nice construction orange motif, actually. It just makes things stand out. That's just a me preference. But this way all my rides look like they're kind of the same style, like the same person put them together. And to me, that makes a lot more sense than anything else. And the cars will all be different colors, which is generally nice. So now we'll just go ahead and toss a queue line in here, and we're just going to wrap the queue line around that tree. And the exit will just be standard. And now we can go ahead, open that up. We have a new ride that people are going to love because people are already filling the queue line for the merry-go-round that's there. So that's good. We're really hoping for a swinging ship. I don't know what it is about like the stats on the swinging ship, but people go nuts for them. You can never have too many swinging ships in your park. So I'm not going to have too many swinging ships in my park. So yeah, we're just going to keep this orangish yellow motif throughout the entire park unless it just doesn't make sense. Like I'm going to keep the minecart ride the way it is. That's standard. It's iconic. We want to keep it the way it is. And then who doesn't love, after a nice go-kart, an ice cream? Everybody wants ice cream after a nice go-kart. So it's just really thinking about, okay, what would I want? Obviously, the computer is not thinking about these things. The computer is thinking about how many spaces am I away from a food stall, which is ice cream or hamburgers. Those each fill hunger meters differently. How close am I to a drink stall? How close am I to a bathroom stall? All that gets tracked right in here. You can see all the guests are summarized and what they're doing, whether or not they're happy or not. That also is reflected in your park rating. So right now our park rating is 794. We need 801. And now our rating is 801. So we just have to end the game with a park rating of 600. Which basically just means making sure that our park is always a pretty good deal. $20 at the door, and you can do anything you want other than you got to buy your own food. That ain't bad at all. And we've already made $3,000 from our admission at 20. So eventually we're going to get a message saying our park is a really good deal. That usually happens once we have a certain amount of rides. So yeah, now we're going to be getting a swinging ship May 1st. That's going to be something we immediately put down. However, there is something I want to do just stylistically here. We're going to go ahead and add some foliage in that go-kart round. It's just going to make it look and feel nicer and like it's part of the park. One of the good things about this map in particular, rather than some of the other ones, is also there's no grass. So the handyman that I have doesn't get distracted by mowing grass. So I don't have to worry about their pathing so much right now. Eventually I'm going to have to assign them zones on jobs so they don't bunch up. But for right now, 2 handymen can walk this whole thing in like a minute or so and take care of everything. Alright, we have what we wanted. So I'm now going to drop back to normal funding and put in check marks for everything other than scenery and ride improvements. I got what I wanted. Eventually, I will want, another type of roller coaster or something like that. But for right now, I want Swinging Ship, because Swinging Ship fits really nicely just right inside of things. Swinging Ship is kind of the perfect blend of like thrilling and gentle, so that most people in the game want to ride the Swinging Ship. I don't know exactly what it is about Mr. Swinging Ship here, but people like Mr. Swinging Ship. People trust Mr. Swinging Ship. So we'll go ahead and open that up, and now we have a ride for everybody. So as you can see, I don't have enough rides for the people walking by, basically, at this point. We're going to go ahead and quickly toss some benches and a trash can and a lamp right there. Again, just adding in things to bring cohesion. And then now that we have our Swinging Ship, we're going to go ahead and work on a custom roller coaster. And roller coasters are the bread and butter of the game, but they're also kind of the hardest part of the game, is putting in the perfect roller coaster, because the game lets you just put in G-forces that are holy abominations to society, right? So we're going to start it here, and it's kind of going to wrap over here and come back. It's not going to be the biggest roller coaster in the world, but it should meet the thrill needs of our of the people we are hoping to attract. So height of 20 is good. That I think is measured in meters, which means it's 60 feet ish. So we'll go ahead and make a nice embankment. That's a slow embankment. It builds suspense. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Before we do that, we're going to do a short drop into an embankment. Makes it a little bit faster. Then one steep drop. That gets speed going. So it's at this point that we need to worry about G-forces, because the game will let us put in just a sharp, unbanked turn. That breaks people's necks. And nobody's going to ride the roller coaster at all if I toss this in. Even if I just did that and then ended the roller coaster, nobody rides the roller coaster. So we need to put in a few things. We're going to do on-site. We're going to do the photo booth right there. People like photo booths. I don't really care, but people like them. And then we'll go ahead. And we do an embankment up. That lowers the G-forces quite a bit. Dang it. We'll do an embankment up after we go one further, because then we should be able to, dodge it upward. So that takes out some of our momentum. And then we'll do a wide embankment all the way around. We'll go up a little bit more. The game's physics engine is pretty easy. It's basically so long as you are lower than the point of your previous drop, things seem to work. It's not a foolproof method, but it does generally work. How's it going, Meg? Yeah, it's Dynamite Dudes. So Otter, you could use the hill to save on some materials, but it also limits the downward slope. Unless you start building underground, which then becomes really expensive. We will get there. We're definitely going to be putting a We're definitely going to be putting a roller coaster under there. Spoilers for that, but once we get a steel roller coaster, it's going under that hill. All right, that should, in theory, sneak me right under there, and it does. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I can do a banked curve upward. It just does regular curve upward. So we will see whether that becomes an issue, Meg. I would like to. I would like to say that it'll be okay, but it probably won't be. So we're just gonna twist it around and see what happens. What we'll probably go ahead and do is actually. Take out some momentum here and then end the end it here probably. All right, if I was lower I could do it, but I am not lower. So in fact, if that's going to be the case, it is a very nice pretzel. So I'm hoping that it's not quite so disastrous on people's backs. I want it to be an intense coaster. My other roller coaster in this park is pretty mild because it's Dynamite Dunes. So you start with the Mine Coaster. So that's pretty mild. So I'd like to see if we can make this work. And the guests think I'm cheap. So it is now also time to go ahead and revamp our price structure. All right, let's go ahead and toss. Entrance is going to go all the way down here. Exit will be right here. That way we can have them loop around a little bit if we want. We'll start that testing, and we're also going to go ahead and raise our price to $30, because why not? And that's about 50% of what people usually take with them as far as money. So, here's the test. We will see if it works. Maybe it doesn't. So we're going to wait for our test results here. That's going to be the biggest thing, is if it gets... Ooh. That is going to hurt. But that's a really nice setup to bring it back down. So lateral G's are going to be a thing here. Let's see how bad they are, huh? So it has to go up the hill before it'll tell me. It only gets to 47 miles an hour. Oh, that's not bad. We're going to be fine. It's positive. Yeah. This is great. This is actually exactly where I want it to be. This is exactly what I want it to be. Absolutely, Meg, we're charging up the ass. So this is exactly where I want it to be. So high intensity rating, high excitement rating, and medium nausea rating. That's the perfect roller coaster. It's going to turn about a quarter of the people away, but it's a coaster that actually brings me joy. And yeah, one coaster. We don't have a big enough space on our actual loading dock for two, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it won't even let me do two, so we're not going to do two. All right, so our main color scheme looks good. I'm going to turn that into a black because I want everything to be a nice cohesive deal. And no, I don't want it to be black. I don't want it to be just black. That's not the one I want to change to orange, though. That's the one I want to change to orange. And then this one, Dark blue. That clashes like crazy. Perhaps a yellow. A yellow. That looks nice. Alright. And by nice, I mean it looks pretty orange, but I'm going with a theme color here, so we gotta stick with the theme. And of course, the queue line has to be pretty solid for this one, because people are gonna want to ride this ride more than I even have for this ride. And on-ride photos are gonna be $250, and same price throughout park, so I don't have to set that anytime I do on-ride photos. So yeah, that's gonna be a moneymaker for us, absolutely. And then because that's got a decent nausea rating on it, we're gonna go ahead and toss a bathroom right here. I know closest bathroom, it's about equidistant, but we're gonna toss a bathroom here. That's just gonna help with the nausea and the vomiting and all that fun stuff. It's just the way it goes. And then now we have our favorite stall, the stall everybody wants, the information kiosk. This thing is insane. So you can get umbrellas here. You can get park maps. Park maps are $1. Umbrellas are $3. Why? Everybody buys the freaking umbrellas. That's just how it is. And of course, umbrella color is going to be orange. Gotta keep everything on the same style guide. Alright? That's just how we do. Alright, so right now we're at 300 guests out of our 650 needed at year 3. We're at year 1, so we're doing really good here. And spacing on things is good. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and add in our second swinging ship. Because people love the swinging ship. Do they really, Meg? I didn't realize they actually served a function. I thought they were just there for looks, to be honest. So you have taught me something about this wonderful, great game. I'm trying to figure out where I want to toss this. Is there empty space in here? Not really. There's empty space right back here. Entrance I will put here, exit there, open it up, keep it on the style guide, except this time we're going to invert the color scheme from our previous swinging ship, even though I don't like it as much. That's just the way it goes. Queue line for this one's going to be shorter because it's a second swinging ship, and also I'm trying to cram it in places. Blaster's broken down, but that's okay. We have our man over there. We're gonna go ahead and put in a second merry-go-round as well, next to the dynamite blaster, overlooking it. That's gonna be a really nice. By really nice, I mean it's a place to put it, but it also just takes away the wonderful sounds of the flushing. That we don't really need. So, and then again, same style guide, but we'll invert this one so that it looks slightly different than our. No, never mind. We're not inverting this one. Leave it as is. No, it's a little bit different, but not super different. Alright, so then we can go ahead and just get this to path upwards here. The guests want to pay more to come into my park. I say we oblige them. I don't know what you guys think about the exploitative process of the park, but I think we can absolutely get more money out of them. Alright. So. Now we're looking pretty good. It's looking a lot more like a park, that's for dang sure. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize that that helped with their pathing. I always assumed that they got mad at you mainly for having a park that's designed outside of the one line path that they prefer, because they obviously prefer. So they're asking for me to charge more money so we can get away with $40 now. I think the max that they want to pay is like 60 to 65, because if you look at their pockets, like he's walking in with $70. He's walking in with $70, so they're walking in with 60. So you don't want it to be where they get in and they can't buy things, because otherwise, yeah, I mean, we want to squeeze a lot of money out of them, but we don't want to squeeze everything they have, because we need them to be happy while they're in here. And to be happy while they're in here, they need to be able to buy food. So that would be my main thing. And we're now big enough that a security guard and a entertainer would be nice, especially with some of the longer waits, like the roller coaster. People are going to want an entertainer in some of these queue lines at this point. And the security guard just keeps my benches looking good. I can't zoom in far enough to see them unwindowed. And as we saw earlier, full screen does not work on OBS very nicely. So leaving it here is probably where I want to be. And yeah, as you can see, Dynamite Blaster, not as popular whatsoever as our wonderful Rollercoaster 1. So that is a thing. However, what we are going to do is we're going to bring the inspection down to every 10 minutes on our roller coasters. Something that I have had happen multiple times is having them just explode. And your park rating can be fixed from that, but it's an uphill battle for sure. Looks like we're getting a gentle ride next, which is fine. I don't mind them. We are going to put in a haunted house on the hill. It seems thematic to go ahead and toss a haunted house up here. I do need to add an entrance and an exit. And I want the exit to go and connect down here. That way, basically, it's one way to take people from down in this area to the Dynamite Blaster, and then they have to walk all the way back, continue to ride more rides, continue to get that hunger meter up, and then they want to eat, and that's just going to be what happens. Speaking of, I should probably go ahead and put... I'm going to go ahead and put a burger and a drink stall right here next to Dynamite Blaster. I've had the bathroom right there, but at this point it's going to be nice for our guests to have just the extra option here. Put it somewhere. That'll work. So, just gives our guests extra options for food and drink and all of that. Again, we want to make sure our guests are not hungry, our guests are happy. So, if you go down here, you want there to be hardly anybody here that is saying, I want to go home. That you don't want anybody here that's saying, I'm hungry. You don't want anything like, you want people saying things are tidy, things are a good value. You want generally that sort of thing. And it looks like people aren't liking the queue lines for the go-karts and the first swinging ship. So basically, to fix that, I'm just going to hire another entertainer. And this one is going to be a tiger. I'm going to hire a third entertainer. This one's going to be a frickin' elephant. And that's how we fix some of that. Obviously, putting in lower queue lines helps, but this also just captures people. And again, we're taking their hunger meter, their thirst meter, and all of that, and we're allowing that to tick down a little bit so that when they get done with these rides, they're like, oh, there's ice cream right here. Oh, there's a drink over here. Oh, I could sit down for a little while. And we're allowing them to basically suffer just a little bit so that they give us more money. The ultimate goal of all of this is capitalism. Ooh, I can hear both. Oh, that actually works well. All right. So that's the queue up to the haunted house, and we will make that spookily. But I need to go ahead and make sure the exit is able to be exited out of. And I don't want people to basically be on this. Dang it, I put a burger stall right where I needed to connect this. It's okay, I will connect this right next to the drinks. Just got a message, but I don't know. I didn't see it. So, that is fine. Oh, hey. They want me to charge them more to get in. I won't complain. So now it's $50 to get into this park. Which I am perfectly happy with. Let me go ahead and quickly theme out the path on the way down. Because again, making sure people have places to rest is an important aspect of things, and making sure people don't throw their trash on my path floors is important. Alright, let's go ahead. So for this haunted house, right? Level. I don't want it to be level. This is going to be the only place where the trees look different. Because I want some nice tall trees that make this look a little spooky, right? Alright. Looks good to me. So yeah, now we've got a nice little thematic haunted house on the hill. And it just looks a little bit better with some trees. So that's nice enough for me. We now have a spiral slide, which is always nice. I don't know why people like it so much, but people like it. And it's another one that just sort of fits places, right? It's only 4 squares plus an extra 2 for an entrance and exit. It just likes to fit places. So we'll put entrance there, exit there. We can go ahead and open it because it's already exiting straight to the path. And then we just put in queue line right there. People go in. we go ahead and repaint it so that it's fitting our colors. And there we go. And people are already so far in line for the slide that they don't know what to do with themselves. We are now at 528 guests, still August year 1, and our park rating is 858. So we are really generally doing a great job keeping our guests happy and also bringing more guests in our park. And we have we've used about 50% of the park's total floor space because there's plenty of room around this park that we can still use. But we have made a good use of this first branch of our path here. So it's really easy to get on a ride, get off a ride, get on a ride, get off a ride, and most of them cycle you throughout the park. The only one that doesn't cycle you deeper into the park is this merry-go-round right here. This is the only one that cycles you back out of the park. And it just broke down. I only have one mechanic, so I'm going to put in a second mechanic. That way, because we're now at the amount of rides where things are going to start breaking down simultaneously, and they don't work well simultaneously, right? So we'll get another gentle ride, it looks like. So I am going to get a steel roller coaster once I can. And that's going to get put right in here and path underneath these hills here. That's going to be one of the bigger things we can update. Ooh, it does not sound good when I can hear both merry-go-rounds going at the same time, though. It sounds bad. Anyways. I will go ahead and toss in the scrambled eggs, but generally people are not that interested in riding them. To the point where I don't always put them in my parks. But I will, just for the sake of having a diversity of rides, toss one right here, actually. This way I can put in an entrance and an exit that are on the same level right here. So we can open that. And now people are going to get on it. And we get another ride in for hardly anything. I am noticing my paths are getting a little disgusting here. So I'm going to hire a new handyman. But this one is going to get an assigned area. Right? I'm going to assign him to the area between these two roller coasters. So that's where he can go and path. So he will be focused in a little bit more on taking care of our paths, because I don't want our paths to be gross. That would be a bad thing. We're also going to go ahead and do some marketing. If I can remember where that is. It's in our budget, I think, actually. Yes. So as you can see, our budget's actually doing pretty well. We've been in the black since June. Park started in April, and we built a roller coaster in May. So right now our park has been in the black pretty well. Park value is $15,000. Company value is $12,000. Currently have $10,000 in loans, but that's not a big deal. So what we want to do here, okay? We want to do an advertising campaign and we're going to do it for our flagship coaster, Dynamite Blasters. We're going to do it for 2 weeks. It's going to cost us $400, but we're going to get people into the park. It's just a cheap way to boost our income and boost people coming to the park, because that one doesn't actually count as a coupon for anything. It's just like, come ride this one. Been here since before we got it, before we got the place. Let's see, what's our next general ride? Ferris wheel. We love a good Ferris wheel. Ferris wheels are another one that, again, just like the swinging ships, footprint is low, but people want to ride them. So we let people ride them. September 19th, right around the corner. Yeah. So far, we're doing a pretty bang-up job here. Just got to make sure that we keep on keeping on. And I haven't put any water rides in yet because I don't like them. They take up a lot of space for what they do. However, on this map in particular, they boost things like crazy. So maybe we do. No, it takes up the same space as a roller coaster. It does not give you the same return. We want a return on our investments. Realized we did not theme the inside of that coaster, so we should theme the inside of the coaster, because otherwise, what's even the point of life if we're not theming the inside of the coasters? Gotta make things look like this is an actual place that is lived in. People like this one, though. So we did a pretty good job balancing things. People like that one better than they like... Actually, they probably like blasters just as much. A blaster runs more frequently. We should be getting a Ferris wheel soon. That'll be the next thing we buy. That one actually will probably go somewhere in the front of the park. It's nice to have something like that right at the beginning. We're just waiting on the 19th of September, and it is the 18th of September. I'm not a patient person. Man, there's so much vomit. Alright, Handyman 1. Your job just got a whole lot easier. You got one. Sweep. Sweet. We just got our Ferris wheel. So we're gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna put it right in here. We want it to stand above things a little bit. Because again, a little bit of a more flagship opportunity for us. And we want the entrance to be a little bit farther in, so that the exit can be what we path off of. Alright, our advertising campaign ended, but it did give us 50 more guests, which is not a bad thing. Again, might as well keep it on brand for our park and make it orange. Because why not? Alright, and I'm going to put a second stall over here. Somewhere maybe. Man, that path is bad. Alright, just gonna hire a new guy. He's just gonna be responsible for that. Alright, and I wanted to do this because gotta get people buying umbrellas. There we go. People have some umbrellas now. Alright, nobody's buying. Why is nobody buying from this one? Why is nobody buying from this one? Because it's not open. I just lost an opportunity. I never opened it. Good Lord. I'm the worst. Alright. Please give me a roller coaster. Sweet. 6th of March. Jesus Christ. It's gonna take a while for that one. In the meantime, while we were waiting for, I guess, the 6th of March, we'll go ahead and make sure the rest of our park is running as perfectly as possible. We're not going to put in a train because our park's really not big enough to need a transit system. We'll build a 3rd swinging ship though, that's for sure. And we're probably... Actually, you know what we're going to do? Hold on. We need... What we need is more space pathed out here. So right now we've just got our one path in and out. And we also have some vandalism that's happened, I see. People are vandalizing my park. Yeah. Can't be vandalizing my benches, friends. That's how you end up with no benches. Now that we took care of our vandalism, we've now been in the black since June. Cash on hand is looking really, really good. We're to the point where if we wanted to, we could even pay down our loans. There's not really an incentive for it right this second, but we could pay down our loans and be fully funded at this point. I don't really want to build the cars, so I'm thinking we'll do another swinging ship. I just went through all this. We need to decide where our pathing is actually going to go from here. Because right now we've got just one single path throughout the park. That is fine. We could, however, either path around there or down this way. No matter what, once we get a roller coaster in here, I'm going to put in another roller coaster on this side and inside these hills here for our third and probably final roller coaster. I don't know. We might be able to sneak a fourth one in somewhere. We're just going to have to worry about height limits. But we're definitely going to go ahead and put another main path right down here. That's going to lead directly into another food and bathroom area for our guests. Because the last thing we want to do is be too far away from any food, drink, or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and give them all the options right here. Put in a little cafe. Put in our benches, trash cans, and lights. All right. Now it looks like just any other path in the park, pretty much. Toss in a few trees here and there. And just like that, we've got a path that looks like it's been a part of the park the whole time. So now connected to that, we will go ahead and put in... I'm tempted to do another merry-go-round, but we'll go ahead and put in another swinging ship. So yeah, look how many people are like turning away from the scrambled eggs versus some of the others. We actually won't put in another swinging ship. It looks like right now we're at capacity. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Put another Ferris wheel. We got one at the beginning of the park, so we'll put one underneath our... Put one right there underneath inside of our roller coaster. And that covers that, but also leaves this side open for a roller coaster dock. And it's a suspended roller coaster. So I'm taking off all the rest of our stuff. We're going maximum funding for things. It's now March year 2. So we are now in year 2. We have surpassed our guest needs for beating this scenario. Our park rating is well above what we need for the scenario. Just to remind you, by October of year 3, so end of year 3, you need 650 guests and a park rating of at least 600. So far, we are very much on track to do that. So I'm just going to speed up, trying to get just a standard steel roller coaster or a steel mini roller coaster to put in this area. I don't really, as far as like the custom options for this, like the suspended roller coasters are a little bit harder to tweak around. I'd prefer to have just a standard steel or steel mini to play with. So, but yeah, we will go maximum funding there, and to pay for maximum funding, we will go ahead and we'll do free food or drink, and it'll be free ice cream for 2 weeks. So people can come into the park for $50 and get a free ice cream. Oh boy. Hoping to see something come up in April. Would be good. Hiring another handyman. And it's going to be another one who can go everywhere but only sweeps. So eventually I'm going to have to basically make all my handyman path to like 3 or 4 squares, and that's just going to be how we keep our park clean. In fact, that might be the play. That honestly, that's the play now. So now we have every footpath is covered by somebody. So we've basically had to force them to just focus on one little area so that things can stay actually clean. It's very lucky that they can't mow, because mowing is something they really, really like to do. So it looks like April 3rd, we get a new roller coaster. That marketing campaign is finished, so we're going to put in another one right away. So now they can have free drinks with their $50 ticket to the park. So at this point, we could absolutely just pay down our loan, but I want to have this cash on hand for an epic roller coaster as soon as we get a Steel Mini roller coaster next. So that will be our next roller coaster. It's not going to be our final one. So that one's going to live underneath this roller coaster, right in this hill. It might even just live on the hill. And then we'll have a bigger roller coaster coming over here. Probably. Otherwise, we can put it on the top of this hill. Maybe. We will see. We're going to play around with it. But the mini one is pretty easy to fit anywhere. So, we are raking it in. 17K right now for our cash. And our guests are generally pretty happy. I do have a lot of sick people. That is the number one thought, but that is okay. Oh, it's not the number one thought. My roller coaster is a good value. What I want is for people to spend all their money. And I don't want anybody to be hungry. So, and that's okay. So it looks like I got a few people that need to go to the bathroom. It doesn't look like I have anybody that's hungry or thirsty though. So let's go ahead and build our roller coaster, and then we'll probably add in another bathroom somewhere in the middle of the park. So I'm thinking we're going to put it at the end of this path here. That seems like a good plan to me, because it's just a little bit easier to mess with this one. It's also just able to be more compact because we can have the lift hill. Curved like this, so we can compact it into a spiral staircase, basically. You can also have it go basically into a deep slope and out of a deep slope very quickly. Right. The ambiance is exactly what we want. Okay. So now we have everything we need. Entrance is going to go over here, so the exit can go right there, and that way they turn the corner and they're in the park a little bit more. Right, and we want, of course, our theming to be on point. So, nice, slow, gentle roller coaster. Now we have a stand-up steel roller coaster. Still not what I want, so we need to still be keeping an eye on that. Why do I have throw up here? Where is my friend who does... Over there, do your job. Right. What are our stats? Everything is good. We have medium to highs in all the right places. So now we have a third roller coaster and one that is about the same level of intensity as this one. Actually, no, this is my most intense roller coaster. Is my first one. I thought that was a little bit more gentle. Oh well. Here we go. That's why you do it. You gotta make it look like it's all the same park. Otherwise, what are you doing? Like, gotta be a snapshot of, oh, this is the same park. Now, does it kind of get muddy? Absolutely, but in a good way. Right. Wonderful. So that only costs a little bit, so I still have plenty of money to do the underground roller coaster, which is what I want. So stand up is at least a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. But I would like just a standard steel roller coaster. So hopefully it's the next one. If it's not, then I will put a stand-up steel roller coaster as my underground. But I would like to. I'd like to have just a standard one, because it'd be really fun to do a launch pad coaster where you just launch out at 70 miles an hour into the darkness that is this hill structure, and it just goes up and down underground. Maybe comes out and swings around here, you know. That's the one that I want to be epic, and the one that I'm not quite as worried whether people actually want to hang out on. So that is the plan, at least. So keeping this open so that we can do that. And also just throwing all my money into roller coaster design. So end of the month I should have another roller coaster, and hopefully it's the one I want. Because I want a basic steel roller coaster. I don't need to stand it. It doesn't have to be suspended. I just want a steel roller coaster. Let's see. I also want more coupons. Advertising campaign we will do for Roller Coaster 1. Actually, Roller Coaster 2, since we just put it there. We're going to advertise that we just have a new ride. That makes sense to me. People are going to want to ride it. It's a good ride. Cheers. That should break us into the 800 guest feature, which is not bad at all considering the lack of congestion on a lot of these rides. Like, there is a wait in line for some of these, but it's not too bad. So, because a lot of people get to go. Like, this will empty by about a third, so they're only waiting for 3. Yeah, it empties more than a third. It empties by about half almost. Half to a third. So they only have to wait 3 cycles before it goes. So they're really not waiting that long on some of these. Steel corkscrew roller coaster. I think I can jive with that. Go carts are broken down, but I've got 2 mechanics, so we're good. I am going to hire a new security guard to walk the park. That sounds about right. Because again, other than the times I'm building roller coasters, I am making pretty decent money right now. 16,000 is an insane amount to have in my bank right this second. And yeah, we just broke into 805 yes, so we're still almost 200 yes over what we need to have in a year's time. So as long as we don't liquidate the park, we're going to be just fine to hit our goal. Honestly, at this point, my goal is more underground roller coaster, because this one technically has an underground piece or 2, but it's not an underground coaster. It's a mine coaster. It's not an underground coaster. I want an underground coaster. That's what I want. You can take the grid lines off, I suppose. Just makes for a slightly smoother looking experience. You know, it would be fun making that an oasis. And I did it. Hooray. It's now an oasis. Alright. Yep, 31st of May. literally tomorrow. I'm just impatient. All right. And then we can go ahead and as soon as we get that, we'll drop our funding back to normal and go back to getting thrill rides, gentle rides, and shops. I just wanted a diversity of roller coasters in the Rollercoaster Tycoon game. I don't think that's too much to ask for. All right, we'll go ahead and switch this back to normal funding. And now we have steel, corkscrew, roller coaster. So this has the highest. I don't know whether it's the highest one, but it's nearly the highest one, and it has a lot of really fun things you can do with it. So you got brakes, you got boosters, you got corkscrews, you got helixes. Like it's a fun time. So that's going to be our underground coaster. So now we're going to be spending the majority of the rest of this game just designing this coaster to make it look fun. Alright, so I want to dig into the ground. Alright, so now we are officially an underground roller coaster. Unfortunately, you can't go underground too much. You can only go to a height of 1. But the thing with this one is, and this is why I wanted what I got, we can now set up a booster to go ahead and boost us to 40 miles an hour. This is also why I spent the money I spent. I do wish there was just a straight up overview, because it is quite hard to see where you're actually at, even with the underground view. I see. So I was off by just a hair. Hold on, I need to go back and boost these to the 67 mark. Just have it shoot out of here, and then just in case we lost steam, Okay, so if I can get it, yeah. Let me get rid of my supports. I am struggling with supports. Alright, so now that's basically coming out, doing that. It should be going more than fast enough for me to pull one of these out of my butt. So now we can toilet bowl, and then we're gonna go back underground somewhere over here and do another loop underground, because we gotta do this. This is my main deal. Alright, so let's just raise your lower land. That is the part that I can do. Okay, so now we're back, and all of this is at level 1, so I'm good to crisscross over that if I want to, but I'm going to actually bring it further into this hill here. I'm going to put a corkscrew underground, if possible. It doesn't like it if it's half on and half up and half down, though, so it's going to want me to raise some of this. It's not really gonna let me. It's okay. Oh, we can just helix. Down back to 1. Helix up if we can. Oh. Okay, where am I? I'm out of the park at this point. There we go. Okay, here we are. Man, it is hard to see where the actual, like, cursor is. I think it's, like, right here. Yeah, there we go. So, because I was at 22. Assuming the booster got me here, which it certainly should have. I've got plenty of space to curl back out. And then we are going to up for a second. Back. Downhill. Across there. Entrance and exit, and then it's time to give her a test. So because of the manner of locomotion here, I'm not 100% sure on the physics. So let's make sure. Ooh, okay. 67 miles per hour is not the boost I'm thinking it is, huh? All right. Close it. Wait, stop turning the underground view off. Alright, so that's as good as I can get. It does need to go faster. Which means I need to put more boost in here. I can only have so much boost. Hold on. Powered launch mode. Duh. Okay. Alright. That should fix it. So now it powerfully launches. And then these boosters are just boosters. They're not the main method of locomotion. So that means our physics seems like it'll work. Yep, physics works. And it does slow down at the top of the hills, which is mainly my goal for making these happen. So, my only worry is that that's a lot of G forces, but whatever. We'll see. Inspection every 10 minutes because we want this to actually work. Alright, we got a lot of G forces here. How bad is it? Is it ultra extreme? It is! Ultra extreme! And a very high nausea rating and a very low excitement rating. So this is the perfect storm of this coaster will never be ridden. And that's okay. I didn't make it for them, I made it for me. Alright. So, nobody's going to want to ride this roller coaster. That is just the nature of the beast. However, they have the opportunity to do so. So, but yeah, as you can see, everybody is scared of this roller coaster. And that is okay. So, will it have people riding it? No. But that's okay. It doesn't have to. I still make our goals regardless. And for me, it is a great roller coaster. Okay. I do want to go ahead and add in a bathroom right in here. Nope, there's already a bathroom right there. Why are people complaining about bathrooms? I have so many bathrooms. All right. Anyways, have we gotten anything else? Oh, we got a chairlift. Yeah, that I'm not really going to be using that. We'll get a new shop. Probably will be a balloon stall, which is fine because we'll have orange balloons everywhere. I mean, we could absolutely make it worse. There are plenty of ways to do that because we can absolutely power. If we do power launch mode, it does not have to be a continuous circuit. It can just go up and up and up and then gently float back down. So, and honestly, 60 miles per hour is kind of chump change nowadays for a roller coaster. But too much for the people of Rollercoaster Tycoon. They're not ready for such things. That being said, speaking of being ready for such things, we're going to go ahead and flatten our dune up here just a little bit so that we can have another space for our park and perhaps another roller coaster that people might actually want to ride. So just like that, we've got another space for us to build on, which is not a bad idea. So first things first, I'm going to make a single path that goes up here, and it's going to branch right off of here. That way it branches off the main path in a way that seems fitting, and also makes it just generally nicer to look at. Now we've got an extra little bit up there. Let's go ahead and do the same thing we've been doing with all of our paths. Spots to sit, spots to throw away trash, and decor. Beautiful. Alright, now we'll go ahead and make this another basic spot to eat, use the bathroom, and all of that. At least people are rewarded for a long climb up with a cheeseburger. Right. And then we're going to go ahead and put a Ferris wheel up here at the very least. I know guests can't get to the entrance of Ferris wheel because I haven't done it yet. Right. And of course, gotta make it in line with the rest of the style guide. So now people have a reward for coming up here. We're gonna get fries here soon. That's gonna be sick. Also get a swinging ship up here on the hill. So might as well. Too much on the hill, actually. There we go. That's a lot. That's going to be a lot better. And people get to walk under it, which I'm sure is appreciated by somebody. Alright, and again, still want to do that and that. And then now we need a new handyman that lives and breathes this up here stuff. We're gonna put a fry stall up there. Something nowhere else in my park has. This fry man. He's telling you eat the fry. Yep, not a single person has gotten on this coaster, by the way. Oh. Total customers, none. Too intense is what people are thinking about with this roller coaster, and that is okay. Like I said, nobody's going to want to get on that, and that's okay. Ah, yes, the slide has broken. Because that's what slides are known for, is breaking down mechanically. What we could do up here is actually put in another roller coaster. I know I didn't want some of these down there, but I actually could toss another roller coaster up here. So, a stand-up one wouldn't be bad. Neither of those would be bad to toss up here. Because I'd have a limited canvas space, so it would be pretty unlikely that I make something that's super intense. Although I only have $4,000, so if I start building this, I will need to be wise with my money. But I'm building it, so here we go. Speaking of being wise with your money, I need it to be far enough away that I can actually put in a queue. The park is coming along really well. So we're at the end of year 2 and we're playing till the end of year 3. At least that's the that's when things start to kind of end for us. Okay. And since this is a hanging roller coaster, we really want to have lateral G's built in, which is something I am quite good at. That's probably not going to work, but we will see. I'm curious to see if the physics of this are going to work out. That's actually my main worry over intensity on this one, because this is actually a pretty small roller coaster. I'm more worried that this doesn't quite work out. But it does. It does work out. So the question is, do people find something like this worth their time? Because this is one of the cheaper coasters I could make. No, I think this is actually going to be fine. Also, I think I just got another notification about the park being a good value, which means we can raise our price to 55. Alright, medium, high, and high. That's fine with me. Alright. We are officially open. Okay. And then, yep, 1st of October, my park entrance fee is very cheap. Which means we're going to go up to 55. We don't want anybody getting turned... We don't want a ton of people getting turned away like this who didn't bring enough money to get into the park. Some people are going to be like that. But we want to make sure that as many people as we can still have enough money in their pocket to get in the park. And we might need to lower it again because I'm seeing quite a few people get turned away from the park at this point in time. So I'm going to lower it back down to 50, even though people are saying that's cheap. I love suspended roller coasters in real life. I just really like the laterals, but in this game they're a little bit harder to manage just because of the extra like space underneath that you have to account for. I generally don't think about it, so I usually have a bad time. Alright, we will do that. We've got everything besides ice cream here, so let's give the people what they want. Ice creams. And then let's go ahead and bring in just a touch of theming here and there. I don't want to get in the way of anything, just to make it look halfway decent. Oh my gosh, I love Iron Dragon. That's a good one. Yeah, Meg, you left for an hour and we have grown to fill the space, is what we've done. Looks like we're going to probably end up with a little over 1,000 guests at the very least. Because technically the scenario goes for another year. I'm going to get off here eventually soon because I've got an early morning tomorrow. But that being said, we are doing a pretty solid job here. So, unfortunately, I haven't gotten any awards, which is weird. Normally, I get a Park Tidiness Award or a Park Value Award by now. But, ooh, okay. New thrilling ride that's going to go on top. Yeah, I mean, that's just... It just gets a little messy. So, but this is fine. I didn't have a ton of money to build this anyways, so it just made it easier for me to actually build. Anyways, bumper cars, which is somehow a gentle ride. All right, and that's gonna live up here on the hill. In fact, I think it's gonna live like right here if it can. I cannot. Okay. I was hoping that it could live like around there. Let's see, where else do I think this could live? This could live over here somewhere. Yeah, like, it's nice to have cohesion. Like, obviously it gets a little muddy, but it's nice to just have the park look like it was designed like everything's supposed to go together. I've just noticed in this game, like, picking one or two main colors as your style guide makes the game look a lot better. I'm just trying to place this somewhere. I could put it right here. Delete the burger stand. That's what I'll do. It's gonna live right here. Because then I can trash the burger stand. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Friend. They do just get lost so easy. So that will do, except gotta have a queue that actually works for me, but oh shoot, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Hold on. It's really hard windowed to see what you're doing, and that was the opposite of what I wanted to do, because now we are trapped. Okay. Also, where is my dude for this? You to do all of that, please. And yeah, I will give you that space as well. Anyways, I should just do it the smart way and actually. There we go. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. A little bit, I guess. I can only kind of see what I'm doing. Still, it's the one bad thing about all this. be pretty clear what I want to do, but it's not. All right, there we go. Now we're good. Sometimes it's just a little hard to do what you're trying to do. Okay. All right, that worked out well. So that is now going to ferry people over here from Dynamite Blaster, all of that. Okay, seriously, my friend the handyman number 4, or whoever you are, you need to come up here and you need to do your freaking job. You have the ability to come up here. Okay. 1,000 guests. March of year 3. 1 year to go. Things are going very well. But it has been about 2 hours. Usually whenever I start to think about getting off. We've done very well so far, though. Well on our way to succeeding on this scenario, and still plenty of room to really fill this park out. So I'm excited to keep working on that and keep working on this park, but we will do that next week. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you all for talking with me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and we will come back and finish this up next week. I will see you then. And I'm going to save that. And I will see you all next week. Bye. Maybe. Where's OBS? Hello? Guess we'll close that out and then we gotta pull up OBS again. I don't know what's going on.